Okay, I'm going to have Dave, you lead the Pledge of Allegiance today. Okay, hang on. I hereby call the City Council for Buellton, the meeting for July 25th to order. If I could get Councilmember King to lead us in the pledge.
Hand over your heart. Repeat after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Linda, roll call.
Councilmember King.
Here.
Councilmember Mercado.
Here.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Here.
Vice Mayor Andrusek.
Here.
And Mayor Sierra.
Here. Thank you. Do we have any reordering of the agenda tonight?
Not that I'm aware of.
Alrighty. Public comments, now is your time to get up. You've got 3 minutes to complain, to compliment, to announce anything, whether it's on the agenda or not. I don't have any speaker slips tonight, so going, gone. Closing public comment?
No, we're not speaking. You don't speak? No. So this is my first time here. Just
Well, welcome to City Council.
Yeah.
Did you want to have public comment, or?
Is that what it is right now? I mean, I can make comments?
You can comment about anything you want for 3 minutes and then fill out a slip as soon as you're done. Step on up.
Where should I go?
Right up here, front of the class. Come to the front of the class and give us your name and please.
Okay. My name is Mimi Alexander, and I lived here for 2 years. Before moving to Buellton, I was just, Googling it, and it was like, it's part of San Ynez Valley, it's so beautiful, all that. And I happened to be in that new apartments in 2nd Street, now Avenue Heights. And the place is nice, but the surrounding is awful.
Okay.
And there's so many things, because I know this is a very tourist area, that Avenue of the Flags, because you have RV park and a lot of people come to eat there, but most of the businesses are not really taking care of the front of the business. There are a lot of broken down stuff. It's very sad because, you want Buellton to be beautiful, right?
Absolutely.
And it's part of San Ynez Valley, but it's really ruined, totally ruined. That, at least the Avenue of the Flags.
Okay.
And the lawns, the empty lots are, is it 2 minutes now? Oh,
You're
okay.
fine.
Oh, is it okay?
You're fine.
All the empty lots are trash can, basically. People just throw trash in the empty lots. Nobody takes care of them, so they need like trash cans, no littering signs. A lot of these news stands are all broken down by P. Soup Anderson, by that liquor store. That liquor store is in bad shape. Oh, sorry, I didn't know this existed. And the awning is falling apart. There needs painting on the bench. My God, I mean, like, really, nobody cares. I mean, these people are making money, but nobody cares about the looks of the city.
Thank you very much.
Second.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Our city manager is busy writing notes for the items that we can work with. And welcome to Buellton.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't see anybody else, so I'm closing public comment. Going back to the consent calendar, we have the minutes of July 11, 2019 regular city council meeting, the list of claims to be approved and ratified for payment to date for fiscal years 2018-19 and 2019-20, the monthly treasurer's report, June 30th, 2019, and the quarterly report for January 1, 2019 through March 31, 2019 from the Visit San Ynez Valley, the Visit SYV. Gentlemen, any questions or motions?
Move for approval. I'll second.
Linda?
Okay, Councilmember King.
Aye.
Councilmember Mercado.
Aye.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Andrusek.
Aye.
And Mayor Sierra.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, this is what I get to do now. That's the best part of the whole job. We go into presentations, and tonight we have a proclamation recognizing library volunteers for the Goleta Library transition. Most of our audience were volunteers who volunteered their own time to come in. We transitioned from the Santa Barbara Library. Was that the 2nd district, Judith? 1st district? First district to the newly formed 4th district with Goleta. Every book, every CD, every item that you can find in that library next door to us had to be recoded, recalculated, and we had this amazing group of volunteers. So if I could, how should we do this? Should we get everybody here? Everybody stand up over by the board. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to, we'll get a picture. I want to make sure I recognize everybody's names that I have, and I hope we haven't missed anybody. I just want to thank you all very, very much. We have such an incredible library, and to get our old librarian and librarians, plural, it's just, okay, you gotta get a little closer. Get here, get here. Can you get everybody? Squeeze in so we can get a good picture, folks. Shoshana, you gotta get a little closer.
Turn sideways.
Do I need to get closer? Okay. Is everybody here?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, books.
Okay, now I want to read this because this is really, really impressive. A proclamation recognizing library volunteers for the Goleta Library transition. Whereas the cities of Buellton and Goleta have been working on the transition of the Buellton Library into Library Zone 4, administered by the city of Goleta, and whereas since the beginning of 2019, the city of Goleta has been working on various aspects of the library transition, including re-tagging all items. How many items were there? About 80,000. About 80,000 within the Buellton Library. And whereas the re-tagging of items was accomplished by numerous volunteers that spent many hours over the past few months to ensure the transition was completed before July 1. And whereas the city of Buellton would like to thank the following volunteers for their services in assisting with the administrative transition to the city of Goleta. I know I'm going to butcher some names, but be kind. Ursula Farrell, Jerry Sodek, Dolores Wilson, Andrew Dale, Judith Dale, Shoshana Schwartz, Alicia Thomas, Sherry Aida, Lisa Kenyon, Grace Siegel, Olivia Fisher, John Thomas, Simona Gilo, Mary King, Tori Andrade, Judy Just, Jillian Tempesta, Jeremy Moore, Christine Carlin, Terry Smith, and Rosemary Verhegen. And I also want to make a comment. Dolores volunteered 136 hours. And Sherry is right behind her at 127 hours. You're just incredible. This is what Buellton's all about. Now therefore I, Holly Sierra, Mayor of the City of Buellton, on behalf of the Buellton City Council, hereby recognize the volunteers listed above for their dedication and hard work in creating a seamless transition to the city of Goleta. Thank you very much. So, if anybody wants to say anything, now's your opportunity, but I just want to thank you all so much. We are so proud of our library, and Goleta's made it a wonderful place to come into, and our volunteers have made it so easy to we just went from one organization to another with not even a hiccup. So thank you very, very much.
I just want to say thank you to the council for recognizing our great volunteers. I mean, it truly is the spirit of Buellton. And I want to give a heartfelt thanks on all Buellton citizens to all of you for your funding for the library. I sit on the county committee, and I'm so proud to be from Buellton, because when we look at the finances and what cities support their library, Buellton's right there. And I just want to say thank you so much on behalf of all the citizens of Buellton, and you guys are champs of libraries. Thank you. There's one other person, I really hesitate to recognize any one volunteer, but there's one volunteer that not only worked hundreds of hours in Buellton, but she was involved in all 4 Valley libraries working to recode, and that's Dolores Wilson. So let's give her a quick hand. She already sat down, so truly good. Once again, thank you for this. Thank you for your support.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so you're welcome to stay. We have a wonderful open street presentation in about 5 or 10 minutes, or you're welcome to take off for your party. I know you have a soiree. I get it.
Everybody together. Good time, I got everybody together.
It's only 10 after. I mean,
We got a party to go to.
I know. Give us 5 or 10 minutes. I think you're really gonna, if you stay for the open street presentation, you will be really excited about something, another possibility in the valley. Okay. Moving on to public hearings.
No public hearings.
Council member comments / items. Mr. Councilmember Sanchez, any comment or item?
But just, we got another solar light up last week. And also I had the assistance of the Solvang Fire Department with their ladder truck. They came over and did a training in Buellton on Sunday and hung and put a new rope on the one flag that didn't have a rope. So now we have 4 lit flags flying, and soon we'll get the rest of the solar lights up, and then we'll be back up to our full 8, and
Avenue flags will be flying.
we'll be the avenue.
Terrific.
Thank you.
And thank you for getting the fire department to do their training
Did a
on
little
the
training,
avenue.
yeah.
Vice Mayor, any comments / items?
No, ma'am.
Councilmember King?
I don't think we've had any parades or anything since last meeting. No, I'm good.
Councilmember Mercado?
Should I'm good.
All righty, and I just wanted, I've talked to our city manager about possibly starting a leadership training program with Oak Valley School that hopefully will be coming back for us to discuss. And I'm also talking about what we can do with this power shortage potential in Buellton. It's a crisis, maybe that could come back with discussion on what council can do. Okay, moving on to written communications. Committee reports? Anybody have any? Vice Mayor?
Yes, ma'am. July 17th was the annual board meeting for the Joint Powers Insurance Authority, which is our insurance carrier in Los Angeles. Attended that. This morning, started the day at Central Coast Water Authority State Water Project discussion and planning for the best water use. And at noontime, Vandenberg Air Force Base celebrated their second quarterly awards and recognized about 35 best of the best at Vandenberg. So
Very nice.
it was very good to see it. And if you're ever interested in going, just let me know. You got to pass through a funny building. Okay.
Any committee reports?
I do have one.
Councilmember Mercado?
Buellton Visitors Bureau had their meeting. Megan gave a good report on the numbers of that being hit on our website. They do have a new website, and the numbers are continually to be improving between 15 to 20%. So we still have this one. We can't figure out why somebody in Chicago is actually hitting it about like 18,000 times, but someone is really from Chicago who really likes Buellton. So, but and then they had a great Lagerville. They had over 500 people attend.
How did the hatchet throwing go?
So far, nobody had
Nobody
any
was
accidents.
hurt.
Nobody was hurt. So nobody missed
That's
any
good.
limbs, literally.
A brewery and a hatchet throwing
So
contest.
the numbers were good for that, and Taste of the Valley and Sideways is coming up in October. So it was a good meeting, and they are really hitting it hard.
Terrific, good. SBCAG met last Thursday, and about the item that we had anything to do with, the breeze has been extended for another year, which is good. Connecting us to Santa Maria, Los Alamos, that's all important stuff. Okay, moving on to our business items. See how easy this is? Business item, agenda number 6, is our presentation regarding open streets. Did you want to take it? Did you want me to turn it over to Kent? We have a gentleman from SBCAG, Kent Epperson, who has put on open streets in Santa Maria. You've helped in Lompoc, Santa Barbara. It's a really fun idea to bring healthy eating, active lifestyle, active living The HEAL program, Dean Peleus and Tommy Spidell are part of that, and it's something that we are thinking about trying to bring to the Valley. So Kent very graciously offered to come and speak about open streets to the council.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's so great to be here. I think it's been maybe like 7 or 8 years since I've addressed your council, so it's great to be here and get a little taste of your local civic volunteers here. So, so as you mentioned, I run the Traffic Solutions program at SB CAG, and Traffic Solutions, we're a rideshare organization, so our mission is to reduce traffic, improve air quality, and we do that by getting people to drive a little less alone in their car and bike and walk, carpool, take the bus, take the train, and so forth. About 2013, we turned our attention to this kind of new movement that was taking place, the Open Streets movement. And there have been 8 Open Streets types events that have been held in Santa Barbara County since then. And I really see this as a county-wide initiative. And so I was very excited when some of your leaders here in Buellton approached me about potentially hosting an Open Streets event here. So I'm very excited about that. What I'd like to do is, because the imagery and the movement that you get in a video does such a great job of really conveying the magic of an Open Streets event, I wanted to just kind of jump quickly to a video that we put together to promote the Lompoc Open Streets. They did 2 in a row in 2017 and 2018. And this was a promotional video that we did to promote the second one that we did. So if you want to go ahead and start it up.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bob Lingle. I'm the mayor of the city of Lompoc. I'm very excited to be here today to tell you about a wonderful event we have coming on July 21st from 4 to 8 p.m. It is our first ever Open Streets. They will be closing approximately 1 mile of our city streets from C Street to M Street and then several blocks on Main Street. It's the event where we can get people up and active, get some activities going on in their lives, but also activity for economic vitality of our city.
The concept of Open Streets was really born about 40 years ago in Bogota, Colombia. There in Bogota, every single Sunday they close about 75 kilometers of roadway. And they opened it up as a public park to promote physical fitness and public health.
The Healthy Lompoc Coalition has been working for several years to create a culture of health in Lompoc that centers around active transportation and safely using active transportation. We have had the Safe Routes to School grant for several years, and we are currently working with the Office of Traffic Safety in the Lompoc Fire Department on a grant that is going to allow us to put on this event, as well as provide over 1,500 helmets throughout this year to the local community.
We've been involved in Open Streets for the last 5 years, bringing several events to Santa Barbara County. We had 3 events in Santa Barbara, 1 in Carpinteria, and there was also one that was hosted in Guadalupe. I think there's a lot of potential to increase bicycle and pedestrian activity, to improve safety for pedestrians and bicyclists, as well as just create a good excuse for people to get outside, enjoy one another, and enjoy all the great things that Lompoc has to offer.
It's obviously a great opportunity for both community members and people from out of town to come enjoy downtown Lompoc, to run around, play, do games, and just have a great time here, and provide a safe, secure place for kids and adults to enjoy riding their bikes and learn to ride bikes for the first time.
We're going to be tagging along to Oakland Market, which takes place on H from Ocean Avenue to Cypress Avenue.
Something new this year, it absolutely goes with everything we're promoting, with getting out there and active. We're really excited about having additional activities. There's going to be a BMX show, a kids' night rodeo, and a kids' night drag race.
We are also excited to have a grant from the School of Lompoc that will fund a lot of the entertainment for this event and food giveaways.
We saw this as a great way to promote our community, get people to come here for not only that event, but the Old Town Market is going on at the exact same time.
I'm the mother of 2 kids. I'm really excited to get out here to let them ride their bikes, play, and just have some fun without having to worry about
It's a lot of fun. It's a chance to see people, see in the same period of time. It's workout, people love, and it's just a blast. It's amazing.
Beautiful for children, from young and older, from all generations. So please, come on out, have a great time, join all your friends, join your neighbors. This is the first ever event. We want to make it an annual event. So thank you again for coming.
So this 2019, the City of Lompoc decided to take a break and not do a third one in a row. They had some staff changes and other things, priorities they wanted to do, and so that actually opens up this opportunity in some ways for the City of Buellton, because we have allocated $10,000 as seed money for another North County Open Streets event. And so it was kind of part of that discussion of realizing that Lompoc wasn't going to do their event that opened up this discussion. And so of course the most recent event that we had was in Santa Maria, and it's such a great event. I think we've definitely topped out at all the things that were included there. The coalition of organizations. We had 200 different organizations that were represented, their activities out on the street. About 20,000 people or so. It was really a wonderful experience. I wanted to kind of just show a very quick video that SB Bike did for us about the Santa Maria Open Streets to give you a flavor of that event.
Santa Maria Open Streets rolled out the
Scott,
a mile of concrete space for people of all ages and abilities. Be active. The Santa Barbara Bicycle Coalition, and especially our team at Santa Maria BC Central, was honored to be a part of this transformative event in the heart of the Santa Maria Valley. The community came out in a big way, with approximately 3,000 participants engaging in a range of activities from over 100 resource providers. What a healthy way to celebrate Cesar Chavez. Calles Vivas, Open Streets. Thanks to everybody who helped make this happen, and a huge thanks to the City of Santa Maria for making this reality.
So, quick question, has anybody here been to an Open Streets event or Cyclavia or anything like that? Anybody in the audience? Okay, well you guys are...
we got one.
Got one.
We got
What
one.
event did you go to? Santa Barbara. Okay. Great. Well, it is. It's a unique experience, and I think Buellton is a great fit for it. There's talk about probably Avenue of the Flags being identified as a possible route. There's some dates being discussed, but just a few things that I would impart from the years of experience that we've been doing this. Some things for you to consider. One thing that often is misunderstood is how an Open Streets event is different than kind of your standard street festival. One of the most common misperceptions is that with festivals, your standard street festival, success is defined by as many people packed in one area as possible. It's like that was a success because the booths were there and there's hustling and bustling. With Open Streets, a lot of ways, it's actually the open spaces that create a successful Open Streets event. So that's part of the reason why we could have taken all of the activities that were at Santa Maria Open Streets, and we could have crammed it into a smaller space. But as it was almost impossible to ride your bike through that event because there were so many people there. And so that's part of the essence of what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a temporary experience in a street that normally is occupied by cars. And if it's packed full of people, you don't quite get the same magic of being able to ride your bike or rollerblade through space, interacting with the booths and the other activities. So that's one thing that I always like to stress: create space so people can move around and exercise, which is one of the main goals. Another thing is that each event is very unique. We've seen this with Carpinteria, a very kind of smaller scale event, probably about 5,000 people attended, to the biggest one in Santa Maria, just crammed full of activities and all sorts of organizations. But if you do decide you want to host an event in Buellton, you can really define what that looks like for you. One of the things that was so magical about the Santa Maria event was that the schools came out in full force. So we had all of the cheerleader squads, we had the bands, the marching bands, and all of the students just came out in full force. We also had Allen Hancock. They came out and they had all sorts of educational booths there. We had the cultural community come out in large numbers. We had a whole zone that was dedicated to arts and culture. And then the local aspect of it was a great success in that it really catered to those people that lived close by. They could walk or ride their bike to the event. That's one of the things that we try to promote, is actually getting to the event car-free. What else do I want to point out? We're now in about a year and a half planning phase of these events, so this is a really great time to be talking about it, because these do take a tremendous amount of resources, and for traffic solutions we're always kind of a little thin during certain times of the year, and so the date that's being discussed fits in really well with a few other events. Right now we've got our next one planned, of course, is the Santa Maria Open Street, so we'll do another one March 29th there on the Cesar Chavez Day again. Then we are looking at doing something called Bike Days on State Street, which will be in Santa Barbara, and that will be coincided with the bike share rollout. They're going to be rolling out bike share in downtown Santa Barbara, and so we're actually going to be closing down half of State Street, converting it into a cycle track, which is basically a bike path in the street, and there'll be one lane of traffic going up State Street, and the other half will be a two-way bike path, and that'll be actually a 4-day event. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're really looking forward to that. So that will be sometime likely in the summer. And then, of course, after that, potentially there could be a Buellton Open Streets. I believe October 4th is a date that's been thrown out there that fits really well with our schedule. And the other one that we're looking at doing as well is potentially an Old Town Goleta Open Streets event, which we would look to doing the following summer, so the summer of 2021. So with that, I'm happy to answer questions. I can also turn it over to Tommy and Dean for their talking a little bit more about the local event here and some ideas. Any questions that you might have for me?
October 4th,
2020.
2020?
2020, exactly.
20.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This started kind of at HEAL. It's a valley-wide meeting group trying to promote healthy lifestyle activities, discussing open streets, and that it would be nice if the valley had something. Perhaps we could rotate it through the cities, not necessarily Buellton every year, but maybe Buellton and Solvang, San Ynez, Los Olivos, do something where every city would have an opportunity to showcase part of their town. Buellton is nice because we have Avenue of Flags, and we could close off, it'd be easier to close off part of that street. Kent was kind enough to go to Buellton Rotary and put on a presentation, and Dean is, the Buellton Rotary would like to participate in this. This is something we'd have to bring back to council, but it's something we want the whole valley to get involved with, so that it would not be just the total cost would be on Buellton, it would be supported throughout the valley. And we would start it next year, and then it would go on to another town, perhaps Solvang the year after that. But of course, Buellton being Buellton, it'd be nice to get this thing started off on a good note. So that's why we asked Kent to come tonight to present Open Streets, to see if it's something that you gentlemen would be willing to have brought back, to confirm, to discuss. They have a grant that would be a part of the funding, and then we would ask the county and Solvang to help with that. Rotary. Anyway, I just wanted to see if it were something after Kent talked to you and gave you this presentation that you would be willing to come back and perhaps be open to a 2020 date on the avenue.
I would put it
I would. That could be something exciting, especially now. I mean, we have grandchildren, so we're always looking for something to participate with youngsters, and Jeff is too, so he's just learning how to ride a bike. So now's a good time for him to learn.
And Rose, you said medium 2 will be done by then, right? I know, I'm pushing my luck a little bit there, pushing my luck. All righty.
But I think it'd be something to discuss.
I think that was perfect for it.
Yeah.
I think the 4th would be good with the schools will be in by then and established, you know,
It's a
the kids will
Sunday,
be set.
yeah, the first Sunday of the month, as far as we know. Dean has checked out what goes on in the valley, and the first Sunday in October is free. Saturdays, of course, kids have all their soccer and everything else going on. Sunday is more of a family day, and we're hoping to get a really good crowd. So, all righty. That's the affirmative?
It's all timed. That's how you guys do it.
Ken, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All righty. Business item number 7, discussion and direction regarding nonprofit funding for Central Coast Film Society. Oh, we're going to take a break. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Yeah. They're going to their party now. Senior Center, right after council.
Ride your bikes.
See.
Up the streets. Thank you for coming. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
for the hard
you.
work.
All righty, City Manager?
Thank you. Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. As the council will recall, even though I don't because I wasn't here, on June 27th, the Central Coast Film Society addressed the council and requested consideration of funding for the Film Society. The council agreed to bring back the funding request for discussion. That's what's on the agenda for this evening. Within the City Council's packet are 3 documents. The 3 documents include the Film Society's 501(c) certification letter from the IRS. It includes a written request for funding in the amount of $5,773 to provide funding to purchase screening equipment that they can use at a variety of different venues. Excuse me. And I'm sorry, I lost the last attachment here.
Which one are you doing?
Oh, it was their financial statements. Okay. Thank you. The funding request, should the City Council decide to approve it, would typically come from a non-departmental budget unit of the general fund set aside for nonprofit agency funding. However, the line item for this funding amount is $30,000. That $30,000 has already been fully allocated to other nonprofit agencies. So in the event that the City Council decides that the Film Society's request is worthy of funding this year, the budget amount would need to be increased on that particular line item and amended by the City Council. The Finance Director informs me that line item and budget adjustment could take place at the August 8th City Council meeting. So with that, we present this item to you for discussion, and we will take direction as appropriate from the City Council. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Do you have any questions for our City Manager?
I do not.
Okay. Risa, did you want to get up and, since Daniel's not here?
Yes, Daniel apologizes for not being here. His whole family came down with the flu yesterday. And we were at another event up in Arroyo Grande for the chamber, and I said, don't touch me, go away. So thank you so much for allowing me to bring this before you today. As you may know, I'm Riza Georgie. I'm the president of the Central Coast Film Society. This is really the brainchild of Daniel. He's a background in film. I'm not sure what that noise is. He has a background in film community, and he's a filmmaker, grew up here, Los Alamos. We both went to high school together. Did drama, theater arts. So our nonprofit was granted this spring just after you guys closed your application process. I just wanted to tell you, we began our events here in Buellton. We started off with doing classic film screenings at Parks Plaza. Both Daniel and I and our other board member, Chris Manigault, we all work together at Parks Plaza in high school, so we have a good relationship with the Grand family. We've had great events. Alvarez, who is a Valley native, he was an animator for Disney for a while. He worked on Pocahontas and a slew of other films and stuff. And so he came up and did a lecture at Parks Plaza before we showed the movie Pocahontas. And then we're gearing up for our film festival here in the San Ynez Valley in 2020, which we will be using quite a few spaces in Buellton. We're going to start working with the Marriott, Flying Flags, and maybe use Riverview Park as a good, fun family, film location. The issue we've run into for doing some of these screenings is while Parks Plaza is an amazing place, they have a contract obligation with the studios to show the films during certain times. So we can only do screenings either really early in the morning or really late at night. To stay competitive and maybe offer some unique locations for doing screenings, we're doing fundraising for outdoor AV equipment, which could also be used indoor too. Like if we rented out the Marriott, let's say one of their ballrooms, and set it up in there, you could do the screen in there. And yes, this equipment will also be taken to locations outside of Buellton and even the San Ynez Valley. Like we're doing a event on August 24th. Put that on your calendar. We're showing Star Wars: New Hope at the Clark Center in Arroyo Grande. We know a AG local, Ken Knapsack, who is big in the Star Wars universe, and he wrote a book, and he's part of production and a writer or something with Star Wars. So it's going to be a really fun event. We might have a couple stormtroopers running around, so that might be really fun. If you like Star Wars or know someone like Star Wars, it'd be really fun. Our online viewership has exploded in the last couple months. We have averaged between 100,000 to 105 reach just on Facebook alone. We have more than 1,600 followers on Facebook, which is amazing. We have more than the Ventura Film Festival, and they've been around for quite a while. We haven't even done a film festival yet, so the latest spike is when we announced that Star Trek did their promotional shoot at Sunstone Villa at San Ynez, and that has boosted our webpage views a ton, which is awesome. We've had 17,000 unique visits lately, which is amazing. So I'm here to answer any questions. Tell you that we love film. Everybody has a connection to some film at some point in their lives. So we just want to bring fun, family-focused events here to the Valley, to Buellton, to showcase local filmmakers, amateur filmmakers, student filmmakers. We're having a student film competition here in the Valley in winter of 2020. So a lot of great opportunities for people coming here and staying and shopping and eating and dining and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, thank you.
First of all, before I open it to public comment, does anybody have questions for Lisa?
I have one.
Sure.
So the outdoor equipment, I know it's just being new, but do you have an idea of where, say, the Riverview Park or the golf course, or do you have a spot that you think that would be beneficial to where Buellton could host something like this?
All of the above. So the outdoor equipment, especially the screen, because of the size of the screen, you can, only so many eyeballs can sit in the vicinity of it. So we're looking at one that seats about 200 to 250 people. So Riverview Park would be a great spot for it. Also would be the golf course, also would be Flying Flags, also would be the Marriott. So any any location.
What about our gym? Is that?
The gym would be a great spot too. Kyle Abello has said in the past that he's happy to work with us anyway. So I'm,
The atmosphere.
yeah.
Probably the best place. The gym's the best place. I think you control the environment.
Yes.
And
Rain wouldn't be
pretty
a
good
factor.
Rain wouldn't be a
sound
factor.
system.
Exactly.
Okay. So most of the events between 200, maybe 300 people at the most, or
Right.
outdoors?
Outdoors, yeah. Indoor would be a little bit of a different story, but just depending on, the square footage of the facility. And then even if you didn't decide to do the full 5,700, if you just wanted to allocate to one certain thing, like just a screen or just a projector, we're happy to adjust in any way, and just thankful for the opportunity to be here tonight.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Would the, Riza,
Yes, sir.
would the equipment be then moved with the film crew rather than stay, say, at the recreation center or city hall or a school?
Yes, so
Okay.
we would, I have a storage container out at the ranch. Daniel Lair's family,
Okay.
he has a family ranch in Los Alamos, so they have plenty of space to keep it, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Open it up to the public. We only have, Mimi, did you want to get up and speak about this? Not, or just, are you just listening?
You mean about the Avenue of the Flag?
No, about the film. You're our
I
only,
just wanted a contact number.
terrific. Okay, so Risa can take care of that. I'll close public comment, bring it back to council for discussion and direction.
Madam Mayor, I know that she's, if you don't mind, she's got this down like to the dollar, and I would like to actually, with the consent of the rest of the council, is to bump this up to $6,000, just so they have a little bit of wiggle room.
I think it's going to be a good event. I think it
Boy,
was-
that's nice. I was going to try to push for
I
3,
didn't
but
even think about $10.
Wow.
Because it's family oriented, I think anything that we can do to keep the kids occupied and here in the valley and here in Buellton, we give them an opportunity to enjoy things, and hopefully eventually not only would be for the kids but parents who are looking for something to do. So I would agree. If that was the motion, I will second your motion.
well, it's direction.
Or just direction,
Yeah,
right.
direction.
And I think it's public dollars well spent.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, you do realize by doing this that every other nonprofit's going to come out of the woodwork, and they're going to be coming here too.
You know
As long
what?
as you're willing to deal with that.
You know what? Sticks and stones I can take.
This is a nice, we've had a request from our community to bring arts and culture to Buellton, and this is certainly part of art and culture. So I'm for it too.
Holly, you know that for 25 years I have said no amongst crying and pleading.
You're very good at that. You are very, very good at that. Is that the direction from council then?
Don't drip those tears
Does
on that
anybody
ticket.
have any other comments? Anything to discuss?
I think Riza made a great presentation, but can you, maybe when you come back, or give us the size of the organization? Is it valley-wide? Because, perhaps someone will say, well, Sunny Inez gave $8,000 and we want all the equipment kept in Sunny Inez, or the events being held there versus
This
you
is Central
getting to run
Coast,
it.
and Central Coast is the valley. It's sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So the dollar amount is the retail price. In talking with some of these places, they're in for giving a nonprofit discount. So whatever money we can save, we will certainly, give you receipts or invoices and reimburse, or, if it's just for AV equipment, we're happy to do that. And as far as like just events in the valley, it's Central Coast, so we can span from Ventura really to San Luis Obispo. There's so many, places that we highlight that film here on the Central Coast, from, action flicks and Star Trek and Sideways and, all the things that happen here. And there's actors that live here and production people and, screenwriters, and we really just want to have all the facets.
I love your idea of getting the youth involved in independent film.
Yes.
And that's really cool.
Our main goal is raising money for scholarships for kids that are interested in film and media arts. So anybody who has a passion for that,
And it helps that she lives here in Buellton.
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
Is this something that would blend with Hancock, or would it in any way be in competition with Hancock?
It wouldn't be in competition with Hancock. We'd probably just, add value to their program. I believe Daniel's father is on the board of the Hancock Foundation, or something to do with Hancock. So we have a good tie with Hancock. Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that direction from council then? Do you have, John, any?
I'm fully supportive. I think it's a great idea. Anything with the, movies that could go, when they'll get some nice equipment and spread it around and make a good deal.
Buellton will benefit from it.
I think so. I think it'd be good for
You have direction then?
Just for clarification, the direction is to bring back to the city council for approval for a budget adjustment, an amount up to $6,000 for the purpose of the purchase of audiovisual equipment.
That is correct.
That works.
That's my direction.
All righty. Congratulations. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, the time
Go to the movies.
We can deduct that out of the 50,000 for the arts and crafts.
Yeah,
They ain't getting 50 now, they're getting 36.
If you were approved before this deadline cutoff, we would have been in it. I promise, I won't ask after that.
City managers report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
I know you did. That was really
Just to clear up anything that might still be out there as far as a misunderstanding from, or different understandings from the last council meeting with regard to the Arts and Culture Committee. I did want to bring up a brief point in that staff understands its direction from the city council to prepare and bring back to the city council for review and approval a document which provides a framework for the scope of the Arts and Culture Commission's duties, or committee's duties rather, not commission, to include a statement clarifying that no funds will be expended without the approval of the city council, and secondly, to bring to the city council a budget adjustment creating a line item for projects to be proposed by the Arts and Culture Committee in the amount of $50,000 for fiscal year 2019-2020. Staff is planning to bring this item back to the city council at its August 8th meeting, which is also the budget adjustment meeting, so this will all fall into line nicely. There is additional work to be done in September by Caltrans for the sign and flashing light installation at Highway 246 in La Lata. They will come back to complete that work in September. In the meantime, they are trying to get the striping contractor back out here to restripe or complete the restriping at that intersection to avoid any confusion. And lastly, just a final reminder, the 17th annual Buellton Barbecue Bonanza is this Saturday, the 27th, from 11 to 2 at Riverview Park. We look forward to seeing everyone there. And with that will conclude.
Wolf, is there a way of maybe getting an update on the money that has been spent on that little piece of paving?
What Caltrans has
the
spent?
Caltrans on this centered
Are the cones
pile
still
of
up around
rocks
it? I
and
didn't
curbing
drive by it. Are they
The
still
median,
good?
I believe, still has the delineators up around it, yes.
Good, good.
Okay, yeah, I think
Okay,
that's
good.
important.
Yeah.
I'll work with our Public Works Director to see what we can get. I'm not sure how forthcoming Caltrans will be about
Caltrans
that
was
in
planning on
midstream.
spending $100,000 on it. That was their budget.
I'd say they did that last Friday.
So, but they've had a couple of problems.
Oh, the trucks.
And that's it?
That's it.
Wonderful. With that, I adjourn our meeting. We'll see you all back here Thursday, August